Catherine, the Princess of Wales, joined her husband Prince William and father, King Charles, at the Remembrance Sunday service to honor Britain's fallen servicemen and women. It is the first time in over a year that she has carried out 2 consecutive days of public official engagements since her cancer diagnosis and subsequent chemotherapy treatment earlier this year, after she attended the Royal Festival of Remembrance last night, cutting a solemn figure on the center balcony of the Foreign Commonwealth Development Office overlooking Whitehall. Catherine is the highest-ranked royal, stood on high. Sophie, the Duchess of Edinburgh, stood next to her after Queen Camilla, the highest-ranked female royal, was forced to pull out of the event while she recovers from a chest infection. The 2 women looked solemn as they watched the remembrance service unfold below and stood still for the 2 minutes silence. The future queen looked elegant in an all-black ensemble and 3 poppies pinned on the left side of her chest. Although it will not mark a permanent return to duty following an incredibly difficult year, the princess was showing her real shine and looks very happy to be back in the fold. That Catherine would rally for the most important royal event of the year was never really in doubt ever since George V unveiled the Sonata in November 1920. The royal family's pain has reflected our pain on Remembrance Sunday. Every year the late Queen laid a wreath on our mess day, and in doing so tied us back to World War II and a conflict that saw her uncle, the Duke of Kent, die on active service. Britain is not currently at war, but conflict rages all around. Life has never felt so precious. The most striking thing that we see non-verbally from her is a fantastic smile in William's face. We can slightly see this tension, which is quite unusual for him. Last year, the Princess of Wales was the embodiment of elegant royal reflection, her hair neatly rolled under a large black hat, and her slight frame outlined in a Catherine Walker coat. Her dark ensemble contrasted majestically with the sharp white lines of the Sienna. This year's Sunday, the princess as always looked third, but her cancer scare will add poignancy. During her appearance at last year's service, Sophie stepped out in her recycled billowing black coat dress, which was designed by Susanna, London, as well as sporting a small boater hat. Sophie swept her blonde hair into a low chignon for makeup. Sophie kept her look simple, but opted for a heavy eye look and soft blush. Queen Camilla was said to be disappointed not to be at the remembrance events this weekend, but plans to resume to royal duties this week. She is said to have dearly wanted to pay tribute in person to the nation's fallen servicemen and women this weekend. The service at the Senate is an important fixture in the royal calendar and holds deep personal meaning for the Queen through her official other armed forces here as well, and because of her scene or anybody can be as you grow, where follow will be at her home in Ray Nil, which would mean keep a prance from the want to the infection onto Catherine. Or another factor is that OCC no one would want to interrupt. Racing could be her home in Ray Mill, which would mean she was also keeping a precautionary distance from the king as he resumes his cancer treat. Another factor is that these are very solemn occasions, and no one would want to interrupt the proceedings by coughing and wheezing, so I think Camilla would have had an uncomfortable evening and morning at these events trying to suppress coughs. It will though be upsetting for her to miss such an important weekend. As the daughter of a military man, the Remembrance Day commemorations are dear to her heart.